Welcome to another great episode of Real Estate Straight No Chaser with Tara. Today we are talking about playing house. And I know he's like, that's a crazy topic, but it's kind of not crazy. When I say playing house, I'm talking about lease purchase programs. And if you know me personally, you know when I don't do lease purchases. I don't do them. I've only done one in my entire real estate career that ever panned out. So, and that one that we did was a special circumstance, and he rented the house for 3 months only because we're waiting for a bankruptcy letter. And he paid those 3 months in advance, and then we closed. So that's the only technical lease purchase I've ever done in my real estate career, and thank God it worked out. But let's talk about these lease purchase programs that are out here and what it means for you so you know what to expect in the end. Lease purchase programs, they're tightening their belts right now. And so what they're not closing their doors, they're just making it harder for people to come through them. So right now, what a lease purchase program does is the most popular ones, you get to select the house and it has to pass the inspections. And then they purchase the house for you, cash, and then you rent it back from them. Your loan amounts can be from $150,000 with a maximum loan amount of $400,000, and you should expect to pay 10% per month. Not 10%. Yeah, 10%. 10% per month as the monthly rental amount. Okay? So if you're looking at a $400,000 property, then you should expect a mortgage of $4,000 a month, okay? And your debt to income ratio, they will go up to 50% debt to income ratio, and that's not counting your taxes. So if you lose 23% in taxes, and then they're giving you a housing allowance of another 50%, right now you're at 73% of your income, technically going towards rent. Okay, and rent is 100% interest. So that's one reason why I don't do lease to owns, because you don't own it, you know. And these programs, what they're doing now, like I said, they're tightening the ropes, they're making it harder for people to come through the door. They're not closing their doors, just making it harder for you to come through. What they're doing now is if you find a house using these lease purchase programs, they're only submitting, if the list price is $400,000, they're automatically taking off between 10 to 70% off the price. So Atlanta market is not as cool, it's not cooling off as much as other markets. We still have a lot of people moving to Atlanta. It's still affordable compared to if you're looking at the northern states, California, New York, Georgia. The housing is inexpensive compared to those states. So you can still get a lot of bang for your buck in Georgia, depending on where you're coming from. Okay, so because of that, we have businesses. We're still relocating here. It's a thriving market. So houses are not typically losing 70% of their price off the rip. So let's just say you're fortunate enough to get a property, like I said, when they're automatically discounting the price. So you happen to get one, you look up. What you can expect is an annual increase of around 6 to 10% each year. So let's just say you're looking at a $400,000 house. You should expect to pay $4,000 a month. And if that increases by 10% a year, 10%, that'll bring it to $4,400 a month in rent. If they do it at 10%. If they do it at 5%, that'll be $4,200 a month. And they're going to increase your rent every year. Every year, automatically when it renews, they're going to be increasing the rent. So let's just say you keep this playhouse scenario going, keep renting the purchase, And on the 5th year, you decide to purchase. At that point, the appreciation rate, they're going to automatically cap on roughly about $70,000 to your purchase price. And when you get the loan done and they have an appraisal done, if the house is not appraised, it doesn't matter. You still got to come up with the difference, which can be a lot of money. Okay? There is no contingency if the house is not appraised when you're dealing with those lease purchase programs. And to me, if you're going to put that much money out for rent, one thing you can't get back is your time. So why not put your best foot forward to begin with? Instead of paying 100% interest and paying $4,000 roughly for rent, why don't you put your effort in getting your credit straight and getting a house that you own? That way you start generating your own wealth. You're not playing house. You own that house. And interest rates right now are roughly about close to 7. But 7 is less than 100% interest. And so we encourage you to marry the house and date the interest rate. When interest rates go down, refinance and lower your monthly payment. Okay? So lease purchasing is not the way to go. I know we're just coming out of Black History Month. Did you know that home ownership among African Americans is at 44%? And a lady told me Wednesdays it's like 40%. So we keep this up, we're going to be celebrating home ownership like Black History Month. We got to do something about these numbers, y'all. Ownership is the way to go. It creates generational wealth. It creates right now wealth. And that's something you never get when you rent. So put your best foot forward. If you need to get your credit straight, then I do have a credit guy I can refer you to that's getting folks in homes. If you need to get your income straight, then the ways to do that is get a second job, but you got to have that job for 2 years. If it's a part-time, you got to hold it for 2 years in order for it to count, and you have to have it reported on your taxes. Or, get a better job. Betterment is always to your good. So I hope this was informative. Beware of those lease purchase programs. They're not what they're cracked up to be, and they're harder for you to qualify for. Let's get you in a house. Thank you for watching Real Estate Straight No Chaser with Tara, and I'll catch you the next time.